My name's Gay Gadsden. I'm a project officer with the From Yellingbo to Butterfield project. I'm working with some fantastic landholders in between Yellingbo Reserve and Butterfield Reserve. These landholders are taking action for conservation. What they really want to do is protect the wonderful wildlife that they see on their properties every day. Things like echidnas, wedge-tailed eagles. But they're also interested in helping the critically endangered species at Yellingbo Reserve, the Helmeted Honeyeater. Without private land conservation, the future of all of these different species is not great. But through landholders getting involved in projects like this, doing fantastic things like, fencing out their dams, revegetating, really help protect what we've got here now and build on it for the future for all of our wildlife. From this video, I hope other landholders get involved in private land conservation. You'll hear great stories from landholders already participating. I hope they inspire you to take action.
This came up, it was a little asbestos shack and on 50 acres, and we said, why not? We can do this. And so that's where it began. This was surrounded
by very large pines. So they were all cut down and sent off for logging.
All gone.
And all those trees along the road there, we've planted
1,000 trees
from tubes.
Which the local council don't like because they have to come along and cut the tops out of them every year, which we get so annoyed about.
We came here, it was in end of May in 2005. So that's lovely to sit in the sun on our veranda, and I enjoy that every day. It's lovely. When the estate agent came, I want to see the boundaries. So we walked to the creek, and that made me buy the property. I thought it's so lovely.
It's a beautiful property. When you think we're only 50k from the centre of Melbourne and we're living in paradise here.
You have trees fall down and you replace them. We try and, if we have a tree fall down, we try and replace it with 2 or 3 others. Even though we own the property, we look upon it as being caretakers for future generations.
I'd like to put a lot more trees and tree ferns through here. That would be a real bonus. We've just finished the work around the pond up here, and we've put the pipe in there. I'd like to encourage that, a lot more growth there, green that up.
When we first arrived here, it was a 3-hour job to mow the lawns. Now look out there, you won't find a lawn to mow, it's all garden. That's why we've got tons of birds. It's really good.
There's wombats that wander around the fence, and there's wallabies that come in,
and deer.
And deer.
But they do come right here, right around the house.
Well, yeah, they were eating all the bottom of the trees in the orchard, so that they got all the pears. They stand up on their hind legs and they get up really quite high into the fruit trees.
One of the big issues we've got here is feral deer. We've got an awful lot grazing on the property, frequently between 15 and 30, and the numbers have just increased. And really wanting to revegetate, but without deer-proof fencing, I think would be absolutely impossible.
They eat an awful lot of grass, but they do more damage, I think, along the creek, where they get the small leptospermum and the prostanthras, and they eat them right off.
The impact on us last year was that we couldn't cut hay in our biggest paddock because there was nothing to cut. Nothing to cut.
Even just stopping the grazing, which the fencing will do, but also extra planting, I think it's, there's a good chance that we can really get some habitat back in that area.
You've been most helpful to date, helping us eradicate a lot of the ivy and a lot of the noxious weeds, and blackberries too. Sander's been along a couple of times now and got rid of a lot of the blackberries, which we're very grateful for.
We've had 2 subsidies from Melbourne Water over the last 3 years. We employ a contractor and he does what the Melbourne Water wants, get rid of weeds and that sort of thing. And then we had the subsidy for the crossing, which was great. A lot of people don't know about these, and if they did know about these, this money that's available, it'd be a no-brainer if they refused to do it. It really would.
I found what you presented about how significant the area was, like I learnt something from reading it. And then when I met with you and I saw the map of the creek and how cleared it was on our property compared to some of the adjacent properties, it sort of really showed it up, you know, that whole concept of continuing the wildlife corridor. So it just made a lot of sense.
We're finding this whole experience very rewarding, and I think, you know, for other people to get involved with it, I think it would be an excellent idea. It's so easy and normal to hang on to what you've got, but it's such an amazing experience really, is just to say, well, come on, we can let go some of this. And I think it'd be great if other people all joined in for the sake of the project. It'd be absolutely wonderful.
I wonder if people are aware of how much help is available. People probably don't know that, that there's a lot of help available.
I know that I'm grateful to the people who've designated natural areas in the past generations and the creation of national parks and wild places and whatever, and I just think we need to keep working on that, and so that future generations can still enjoy birds and the frogs and all those things that indicate that it's healthy, that the environment's healthy.
Because it is really a project that in a few years will show amazing rewards.